Shalom, shalom. All right, Yahweh Shemel Shabbarakatham. This is Officer Marakat of the Bunyan Yasharala and the Mashara Yasharala coming to you with another Sabbath service. I don't know which Sabbath service this is. It's been what we've been doing these Sabbath service for about 4 years now, going on 5. No. 3 years, going on 4. It's been a long run. It's been a good run, and we'll continue. I'll just take my phone and find it. It's been a good run, and we're going to continue to keep on running. That's how things are going to be at all times. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to get into it real quick. We're starting late. Matter of fact, 40 minutes late. We're starting. So let's get to these prayers, and then we can get to the teaching. All right. All right, Amadium upon Jerusalem. Everybody should have on fringes during the Shabbat services. All right, it's called keeping the law. All right, this is the Abanawa found in the book of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 9 through 13. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shemka, Yahweh, Malafukah, Daba'ah, Ratazaka, Hayah, Aisha, Baratazah, Kahaya, Bashamayim, Danyanawa, Lakam, call your one, Wasalaki now, Kabawaki now, Kasalaki now, Kabawaki now, Wala'a, WI now, Benesai one, Abo, Hawashai now, Wanrad, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Wa'ala, Watapara, Walayalamium, Amman, Bahashim, Yahushai, Mashiach, Amman.
My Father,
which art in heaven,
hallowed be thy name.
Hallowed be thy name.
Yahweh, thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. Here on earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day. Our daily bread. Forgive us. Our debts. As we forgive. Our debtors. And lead us not into temptation. But deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom. And the power. The glory. Forever. Amen. Hashem. Mashiach. Amen.
Padre nuestro que estás en el cielo, santificado sea tu nombre. Venga a nosotros tu reino. Hágase voluntad en la tierra como en el cielo. Danos hoy nuestro pan de cada día. Perdona nuestras ofensas como nosotros perdonamos a los que nos ofenden. No nos dejes caer en tentación y líbranos del mal. Amén. Hashem.
Mashiach. Amen. All right, Zasharah. Blessed are they that dwell in thy house. They will still be praising thee. Selah. Happy is that people that is in such a case. Yea, happy is that people who thou highest Yahweh. I will extol thee, my Alahaya, O King, and I will bless thy name forever and ever. Every day will I bless thee, and I will praise thy name forever and ever. Great is Yahweh, and greatly to be praised, and his greatness is unsearchable. One generation shall praise thy works to another, and shall declare thy mighty acts. I will speak of the glorious honor of thy majesty, and of thy wondrous works, and men shall praise of thy might, of thy terrible acts. Salah. And men shall speak of thy might, of thy terrible acts, and I will declare thy greatness. They shall abundantly utter the memory of thy great goodness, and shall sing of thy righteousness. Yahweh is gracious and full of compassion, slow to anger, and of great mercy. Yahweh is good to all, and his tender mercies are over all his works. All thy works shall praise thee, O Yahweh, and thy saints shall bless thee. They shall speak of the glory of thy kingdom and talk of thy power, to make known to the sons of men his mighty acts, and his glorious majesty of his kingdom. Thy kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and thy dominion endureth throughout all generations. Yahweh upholdeth all that fall, and raiseth up all those that be bowed down. The eyes of all wait upon thee, and thou givest them their meat in due season. Thou openest thy hand, and satisfiest the desire of every living thing. Yahweh is righteous in all his ways, and holy in all his works. Yahweh is nigh unto all them that call upon him. To all that call upon him in truth, he will fulfill the desire of them that fear him. He also will hear their cry, and will save them. Yahweh preserveth all them that love him, but all the wicked will he destroy. My mouth shall speak of the praises of Yahweh, and let all flesh bless his holy name forever and ever. But we will bless the Yahweh from this time forth and forevermore. Hallelujah.
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 Bahashem.
Bahashem.
Yahushua.
Yahushua.
Mashiach.
Hamashiach.
Amen.
This is the first three prayers of the Amada, Abawath, Barak, Atah, Yahweh, Allahayinawa, Allahaya, Abathanawa, Allahaya, Abaraham, Allahaya, Yitazakak, Walahaya, Yaquab, Allah, Sharia, Allah, Ayawan, Gamal, Kasayam, Barak, Atah, Yahweh, Magun, Baraham, Gabawarwa, Yahweh, Gabawar, Lawalam, Yahweh, Machaya, Matayam, Omaya, Dawama, Laka, Malak, Hawalam, Omayah, Omakaya, Barak, Atah, Yahweh, Machaya, Matayam, Kadawarsha, Shem Yahweh, Atah, Kadayash, Washimka, Kadawash, Wakadawashim, Bakal, Yawam, Hala, Barak, Atah, Yahweh, Ha'ala, Hakadawash. Blessed are you, Yahweh, power of our fathers, power of Abraham, power of Isaac, power of Yaquah, almighty power, most high power, who bestows mercy. Blessed are you, Yahweh, shield of Abraham. You are mighty Yahweh, forever. Yahweh, who receives the dead. Who is comparable to you? King of eternity, who calls death, and gives life. Blessed are you, Yahweh, who gives life to the dead. You are holy Yahweh, and your name is holy. And the Holy One, every day, praise you forever. Blessed are you, Yahweh, power rules hold, Bahashem, Yahushua, Mashiach, Amen.
A psalm for the Shabbat day. It is a good thing to give thanks unto Yahweh, and to sing praises unto thy name, O Most High, to shew forth thy loving kindness in the morning, and thy faithfulness every night, upon an instrument of 10 strings, and upon a psaltery, and upon a harp with a solemn sound.
For thou, Yahweh, hast made me glad through thy work. I will triumph in the works of thy hands. Yahweh, how great are thy works, and thy thoughts are very deep. A brutish man knoweth not, neither doeth a fool understand this. When the wicked spring as the grass, and when all the workers of iniquity do flourish, it is that they shall be destroyed forever. But thou, Yahweh, are most high forevermore. For lo, thy enemies, Yahweh, for lo, thy enemies shall perish, and all the workers of iniquity shall be scattered. But my horn shalt thou exalt, like the horn of a unicorn. I shall be anointed with fresh oil. My eye also shall see the desire of my enemies, and my ears shall hear my desire of the wicked that rise up against me. The righteous shall flourish like a palm tree. He shall grow like a cedar in Lebanon. Those that be planted in the house of Yahweh shall flourish in the course of our Alahayah. They shall still bring forth fruit in old age. They shall be fat and flourishing, to shew that Yahweh is upright. He is my rock, and there is no unrighteousness in him. Hallelujah.
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 Bahashem.
Bahashem.
Yahushua.
Yahushua.
Mashiach.
Mashiach.
Amen.
Amen.
All right, everybody rise. Shalom, everybody. Shalom. It's time to give up on their phones and let's go. We're going to start as soon as my officer get over here. He done lost his phone in his own house. Just most high to take that phone from you today. You all right? Any withdrawals?
I think he is.
Okay. I'm off mute, so we're going to start in the book of Leviticus, chapter 1. And we're going to start at verse 1.
as soon as I finish this jerky, which I just did. Okay. Make sure I ain't smacking. Weren't you in the bathroom when you had your phone?
No.
Okay. All right. All right. All right, here we go. This is Leviticus chapter 1 and verse 1. All right, this is going in on after the tabernacle has been reared up. Okay. It's going to start going through burnt sacrifices, meat offerings, okay, peace offerings, sin offerings, okay, even on if a soul sinneth and when a person is unclean. In these 5 chapters, we're going to go over all these things, so pay attention. And to understand these things, you need to know these things, okay? It needs to be rooted in you. So in the kingdom, Lord willing, y'all make it, and you get that new body, you already know these things. And the new body that you get can merge with you correctly. All right. All right. This is verse 1, chapter 1, verse 1. And the Lord called unto Moses and spake unto him out of the tabernacle of the congregation. And where did he speak to him? Behind the veil. You got the altar of incense right there. Then there's a veil, and then behind is the mercy seat where he speaks between the cherubims. Verse 2. Speak unto the children of Israel and say unto them. Close. Slack it, you guys. We're gonna close this door. The water. All right, verse 2. Hey, is the screen door locked?
Yeah.
The water. Okay, verse 2. Speak unto the children of Israel and say unto them, if any man of you bring an offering unto the Lord, ye shall bring your offering of the cattle, even of the herd, and of the flock. If his offering be a burnt sacrifice of the herd, let him offer a male without blemish. He shall offer it of his own voluntary will, at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation before the Lord. Okay, at the door is like where you go to the to that bronze veil where you wash their hands and they wash their feet right there. And before that, you have the altar of burnt sacrifices before that. And before that, you got the east gate. Okay, verse 4. And he shall put his hand upon the head of the burnt offering, and it shall be accepted for him to make an atonement for him. And he shall kill the bullock before the Lord. And the priest Aaron's son shall bring the blood and sprinkle the blood round about upon the altar. This is by the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And he shall flay the burnt offering and cut it into pieces. Flay is talking about just cut it up. All right. And cut it into pieces. Verse 7. And the sons of Aaron, the priest, shall put the fire upon the altar and lay the wood in order upon the fire. And the priest Aaron's son shall lay the parts, the head and the fat in order upon the wood that is in the fire which is upon the altar. But the inwards and in his legs shall he wash in water, and the priest shall burn all on the altar to be a burnt sacrifice, an offering made by fire of a sweet Savior unto the Lord. Burnt offerings, they burn everything. Nobody is eating any of this. Aaron's son don't eat any of this. This is totally burnt. Okay. Verse 10. And if his offering be of the flocks, namely of the sheep or of the goats for a burnt sacrifice, he shall bring it a male without blemish, and he shall kill it on the side of the altar northward. Okay, right now the basin, the basin which you wash your hands, and the altar of burnt offerings is on the east part going into the tabernacle. This right here is northward. Okay, so it's to your left. All right. Before the Lord, and the priest Aaron's son shall sprinkle his blood round about upon the altar. All right, round about, like, going around sprinkling stuff. And he shall cut it into pieces, and his head and his fat, and the priest shall lay them in order on the wood that is on the fire, which is upon the altar. But he shall wash the inwards and the legs with water, and the priest shall bring it all and burn it upon the altar. It is a burnt sacrifice, an offering made by fire, of a sweet Savior unto the Lord. And if the burnt sacrifice for his offering to the Lord be of fowls, then he shall bring his offering of turtle doves or of young pigeons. Now, it's getting into the turtle doves and the young pigeons because they may be poor and they may not have sheep, oxen, bullocks. They may not have these things. All right, cool. You know you can find pigeons everywhere, right? You can find pigeons and turtle doves almost everywhere around here, even over there. So, hey, you better go catch a pigeon. And it's even going to get, even if you can't find a pigeon, it's still going to help you out. Okay. Verse 15. And the priest shall bring it unto the altar and wring off his head and burn it on the altar. And the blood thereof shall be wrung out at the side of the altar. And he shall pluck away his crop with his feathers and cast it beside the altar on the east part by the place of the ashes. And he shall cleave it with the wings thereof, but shall not divide it asunder. And the priest shall burn it upon the altar, upon the wood that is upon the fire. It is a burnt sacrifice, an offering made by fire, a sweet Savior unto the Lord. Ka Asherah, the Bar Yahweh, Anaya Shah, Wanashaman. All that Yahweh said, what we doing here. So that was chapter 1. And chapter 1 went into burnt sacrifices, all right? And you read about burnt sacrifice in chapter 1, verse 1 through 17. You can always go to Leviticus and read about this, okay? And you also got to know where they're talking about. Okay, if he says the eastward, you know that's in the entrance. In some cases, they will open all the entrances. So you got the east and the west. And then you got the north, and you got the south. You got to know what's the north and the south the gates are. Because some people will enter into the north and enter into the south in certain instances. All right. All right, Con. So now we're about to go into chapter 2. And chapter 2 is going to go into what? Meat offerings. Okay, and you can read about meat offerings from chapter 2, verse 1, all the way to the end. Okay? Verse 2, chapter 2, verse 1, all the way to 16, verse 16. Okay. Chapter 2, verse 1. And when any will offer a meat offering, Salakia, and when any will offer a meat offering unto the Lord, his offering shall be of fine flour, and he shall pour oil upon it, and put frankincense thereon, and he shall bring it to Aaron's sons the priests, and he shall take thereout his handful of the flour thereof, and of the oil thereof, with all the frankincense thereof, and the priest shall burn the memorial of it upon the altar, to be an offering made by fire of a sweet Savior unto the Lord. Verse 3. Now, the burnt offerings it was talking about, it didn't mention anything about eating it. Watch this. And the remnant of the meat of the slack, and the remnant of the meat offering shall be Aaron's and his sons. It is a thing most holy of the offering of the Lord made by fire. Right? And you can also go down to verse 10 that lets you know that, they eat it. Okay? So I'm going to keep going from 3. Verse 4. And if thou bring an oblation of meat offering, baking in the oven, it shall be an unleavened cake of fine flour mingled with oil, or unleavened wafers anointed with oil. That's without baking soda that causes it to rise. Okay? Verse 5. And if thy oblation be a meat offering baking in a pan, it shall be of fine flour unleavened mingled with oil. So they're basically making some fried lamb and some fried goat and stuff like that. Okay. Okay. And if verse 5, I'm gonna start from there. And if thy oblation be a meat offering, baken in a pan, it shall be a fine flour, unleavened, mingled with oil. Thou shalt part it in pieces and pour oil thereon. It is a meat offering. And if thy oblation be a meat offering, baken in the frying pan, it shall be made of fine flour with oil. And thou shalt bring the meat offering that is made of these things unto the Lord. And when it is presented unto the priest, he shall bring it unto the altar. And the priest shall take from the meat offering a memorial thereof, and shall burn it upon the altar. It is an offering made by fire of a sweet savor unto the Lord. And that which is left of the meat offering shall be Aaron's and his sons. It is a thing most holy of the offering of the Lord made by fire. Also, when verse 3, when it's talking about it below, the meat offering belongs to Aaron and his sons. And verse 10 says the same thing. Okay. Now, verse 11. No meat offering which you shall bring unto the Lord shall be made with leaven. All right. That is what? Exactly. All right. That is baking soda and stuff like that. That causes the bread to rise. Yeast. There we go. Yeast. The water officer. For ye shall burn no leaven, nor any honey, and any offering of the Lord made by fire. As for the oblation of the first fruits, ye shall offer them unto the Lord, but they shall not be burnt on the altar for a sweet savor. And that's in 3 and 10, because you can eat it. And verse 3 and 10 says it's for the Levites, it's for Aaron's son, not for the other Levites, just for Aaron's sons, the Aaronites. Okay, not all Levites get to eat these offerings. Okay, even though the Aaronites are Levites. All right, but it's just different jobs and called by different names. So not the regular Levites get to eat these eat the oblation. Okay. Verse 13. And every oblation of thy meat offering shalt thou season with salt. Neither shalt thou suffer the salt of the covenant of thy God to be lacking from thy meat offering. With all thine offering thou shalt offer salt. If thou offer a meat offering of thy first fruits unto the Lord, thou shalt offer for the meat offering of thy first fruits green ears of corn dried by the fire, even corn beaten out of full ears. And thou shalt put oil upon it, and lay frankincense thereon. It is a meat offering, and the priest shall burn the meat, and the priest shall burn the memorial of it, part of the beaten corn thereof, and part of the oil thereof, with all the frankincense thereof. It is an offering made by fire unto the Lord. Ka Asherah, Debar Yahweh, Anai Shah, Wanashemai. All that Yahweh said, what we doing here. Father. Debar. Issachar Gabor, the officer Issachar Gabor is here. So we're going to continue on. So we just finished chapter 2, going on chapter 3 in Leviticus. So that is what we went over is the meat offering, okay? And who it belongs to. It's not burnt like the burnt offerings, like totally burnt to a crisp. You know, this is cut up in pieces, and some of them are burnt and some of them are not, but the meat belongs to the Aaronites, Aaron and his sons. But not all the Levites get this offering. Only Aaron and his sons get the meat offerings and get to eat them. That's why when you went to Samuel and Samuel's son, the twins died because they were still in sacrifices and having sex with the women that stood at the door of the tabernacle. It was dead. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, why still the sacrifices when you a Levite, you dummy?
Right.
But hold on, let me take that back. Is Samuel's sons, his twins, are they Aaronites or are they just Levites? Because that will say a lot about them stealing the sacrifices.
You have to go back down to lineages.
Yeah, we'll go through that. I didn't think about that. I should have thought about that, but I didn't. Because if Samuel's not an Aaronite, then I can see why his sons are stealing the meat offerings. You see what I mean? So why steal something that you get? Because it says right here that Leviticus chapter 2 and verse 3, and the remnant of the meat offering shall be Aaron's and his sons. It is the thing most holy of the offerings of the Lord made by fire. And then go to verse 10, and that which is left of the meat offering shall be Aaron's and his sons. So the Aaronites, the meat offerings belong to the Aaronites. So if they're not Aaronites, we can see why they're stealing the meat offerings.
You know what? I never heard that part though. Because I thought it was for all Levites.
No, it's just for Aaron and his sons.
I never heard about Aaronites.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Aaronites. And it says that in Leviticus chapter 2, everybody. So if y'all want to go, there's Leviticus chapter 2, verse 3 and verse 10.
In the first verse is talking about like
the meat offerings.
It sounds like deep fried meat.
Yeah.
It is, right?
Yeah.
I was like,
they cooking, you know what I'm saying? Damn near cooking some fried chicken. All right, we're going to go to chapter 3. All right, this is Leviticus chapter 3, verse 1. And if his oblation be a sacrifice of peace offerings, if he offer it of the herd, whether it be a male or female, he shall offer it without blemish before the Lord. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of the offering and kill it at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And Aaron's sons, the priest, shall sprinkle the blood upon the altar round about. And he shall offer of the sacrifice of peace offerings, an offering made by fire unto the Lord, the fat that covereth the inwards, and all the fat that is upon the inwards, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is on them, which is by the flanks, and the calf above the liver, with the kidneys, it shall he take away. And Aaron's son shall burn it on the altar upon the burnt sacrifices, which is upon the wood that is on the fire. It is an offering made by fire of a sweet Savior unto the Lord. Now you have that church thing going on in verse 2. And he shall lay his hands upon the head of the offering. That was transferring the sins unto the lamb or to the goat, whatever. The church do the same thing. And I have to bring this all the time up in the law to show you what they're doing. In the churches, they're doing it all wrong. Mm-hmm. So they done killed a lot of pregnant women and everybody else and transferred all their sins to that one person.
Oh, that's so true.
Yeah, that's what they everybody.
Yeah, when they get newborns, they get everybody. Like everybody extend your hands and pray for this child. It's like, well, you transfer. Like now you're reading this, like, yo, you transferred all your sins to that kid.
Exactly.
Damn, that's.
And I understand why in Thailand they don't. It's disrespectful. Someone's top head in Thailand. My homie told me that the first time I looked at it, like, someone's weird. I know that in the United States it's okay to pat on the top of the head, over there's bad.
Yeah, don't pat me on my head. We can fight. But at the same time, we're gonna start at verse 6 again. But I had to bring that out.
Yo, that's
because it's about to say it a couple more times too. It's gonna say it keeps saying and then touching the head and transfer because you're transferring the sins. And then watch as we keep going, it's gonna have the scapegoat too. The scapegoat is you're gonna have one goat for the burnt sacrifice and everything else, and you're gonna have another goat for the scapegoat to transfer the sins to go, and that goat is just dying for that one for not going up. And he's just gonna run somewhere. You know what I'm saying? And somebody may find it and whatnot, but he just runs away with those sins. All right, verse 6. And if his offerings be a sacrifice of peace offering unto the Lord, be of the flock a male or female, he shall offer it without blemish. If he offer a lamb for his offering, then shall he offer it before the Lord. And he shall lay his hand upon the herd of his offering, and kill it before the tabernacle of the congregation. And Aaron's son shall sprinkle the blood thereof round about upon the altar. And he shall offer the sacrifice of peace offerings, an offering made by fire unto the Lord, the fat thereof, and the whole rump, it shall he take off hard by the backbone, and the fat that covereth the inwards, and all the fat that is upon the inwards, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is upon them, which is by the flanks, and the calf above the liver. With the kidneys it shall he take away, and the priest shall burn it upon the altar. It is the food of the offering made by fire unto the Lord. All right, again, verse 11. And the priest shall burn it upon the altar. It is the food of the offering made by fire unto the Lord, and is for the Aaronites. And if his offering be a goat, then he shall offer it before the Lord. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of it, and kill it before the tabernacle of the congregation. And the sons of Aaron shall sprinkle the blood thereof upon the altar round about. And he shall offer thereof his offering, even an offering made by fire unto the Lord, that the fat covereth the inwards, and all the fat that is upon the inwards, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is upon them, which is by the flanks, and the calf above the liver, with the kidneys, it shall he take away. And the priest shall burn them upon the altar. It is the food of the offering made by fire, for a sweet savor. All the fat is the Lord's. All right. It shall be a perpetual statute for your generations throughout all your dwellings, that ye eat neither fat nor blood. Kal Asherah, the Bar Yahweh, Anayashah, Wanashamat. All that Yahweh said, what we doing here. Now, when I said right there that ye eat neither fat nor blood, you know, when people start coming to the truth, they went crazy when they saw that. Say, you can't eat no fat. You got to cut everything off it and everything. But it specifically is talking about something, you know what I'm saying?
You're talking about the offering itself.
Yeah. Well, no, it's talking about this. Watch this. 2 and 10. Yeah, by the coal, by the kidneys, and the fat that is above them and stuff.
It's talking about the fat of the organs or anything. Not the fat, like the muscles and stuff. You can eat the fat. You know what I'm saying? Like when you get a steak, like you see the fat right there, you can eat that fat. It's just the fat of the kidneys and everything.
Yeah, because I think medically there's certain fat that you can't eat. Because there's different types of fat from what I heard.
Hold on, say it again.
That there's different types of fat, and some, like the fat that's in our muscle is or in the muscle of the animal is okay, but certain fat within around the organs, that it's like toxic or
Yeah, okay.
it's not healthy.
I haven't heard of that, but it kind of makes sense. I'm gonna look into that. Where is that at though? I'm looking for something. Okay. No.
That's why I don't get when like people be eating like chitlins.
Okay.
Like the intestines or anything. Like.
All right. This is Salakia. This is Leviticus chapter 3 and verse 3 to 5. And he shall offer of the sacrifice of peace offering, an offering made by fire unto the Lord, the fat that covereth the inwards, and all the fat that is upon the inwards, and the 2 kidneys. Now these are the inwards he's talking about, the fat that is around. The 2 kidneys, and the fat that is on them, which is by the flanks, and the calf above the liver with the kidneys, it shall he take away. And Aaron's son shall burn it on the altar upon the burnt sacrifices, which is upon the wood that is on the fire. It is an offering made by fire, a sweet savor unto the Lord. So those things, fat surrounding those things right there, we don't eat.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to get specific with everybody on here who's going to be watching these videos so they understand that, no, it's not talking. But, you know what I'm saying, you cut the rump or the, you know what I'm saying, the shoulder. The shoulder's going to have fat in it. You know what I'm saying? You can eat that fat right there. I mean, I don't think we should eat all that fat. Yeah. But at the same time, it gets tasty. You know, tasty. And then the seasoning just start absorbing. You know, the fat absorbs the seasoning and makes it taste so good, baby, huh?
you try to grill right now.
Yeah, huh? All right, here we go. This is chapter 4. Now we're going into, we went to the burnt offerings in chapter 1. We went to the meat offerings in chapter 2. Now we're going into chapter 3. And this is, chapter 3 is talking about the peace offerings. Okay, so here we go. No, we're going to chapter 4. My bad. Chapter 4. Chapter 4 is talking about the sin offerings. Okay, cool. Chapter 4, verse 1 through 35.
So burnt offering, meal offering, peace offering, and right now we're on sin.
Yeah, burnt offerings, meat offerings, peace offerings, now sin offerings.
Sin.
Okay. All right. And the Lord spake, this is Leviticus chapter 4 and verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, saying, if any soul shall sin through ignorance against any of the commandments of the Lord concerning things which ought not to be done, and shall do against any of them, if the priest that is anointed do sin according to the sin of the people, then let him bring his sin which he hath sinned, a young bullock without blemish, unto the Lord for a sin offering. Now, what is a sin? Is it in the altar, or is it like a sin like the people would make?
A sin that he would do, right? If
this is the priest.
Oh,
this is not the people. This is just the priest.
This is people.
Yeah, he sinned. He sinned according to a sin like according to the people. It's not the tabernacle.
Right.
But we're going to go into the priest sinning according to the work of the tabernacle. But this is different.
Yeah.
So he didn't sin in the tabernacle doing any of the work. It was just a sin like a common person would sin.
But he did it outside the tabernacle?
Yes, outside the tabernacle. So inside the tabernacle, it would be a different one. So you got sin of the whole congregation of Israel sin. All right, this is the fashion what happens. Then you have when a ruler have sinned, and then when a priest have sinned, and that's, you know what I'm saying, one right there, just like the regular people outside the altar. And any of the common people sin through ignorance, and then watch, it's going to say within that the priest sinning within inside the tabernacle. So verse 3, if the priest that is anointed do sin according to the sin of the people, then let him bring his sin which he hath sinned. Then let him bring for his sin which he hath sinned a young bullock without blemish unto the Lord for a sin offering. And he shall bring the bullock unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation before the Lord, and shall lay his hand upon the bullock's head and kill the bullock before the Lord. Now he's in front of the basin, in front of the front door. So the basin is where he washes his hands and his feet. And before the basin is the altar of burnt sacrifices. And then before the burnt sacrifices is the east gate where you walk into, where everybody will stop there and they will bow right there. And then they will have their offering with them. And then they will hand it to the Levite. And the Levite will take it there and he will chop stuff up either on the east part by the door. It'd be on a certain part where they'll chop them up and everything in. So here we go. Verse 4, I'm going to start there. And he shall bring the bullock unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation before the Lord, and shall lay his hand upon the bullock's head and kill the bullock before the Lord. All right, so he's going to be in front of it. He's going to kill it right there himself. He already transferred the sins of everything to the bullock or the lamb, whatever he's going to bring there. And now he's just slitting his throat.
Well, for sin has to be a bull. Because if not, I would have said any offering.
We're about to see. And 5, and the priest that is anointed shall take of the bullock's blood and bring it to the tabernacle of the congregation. And the priest shall dip his finger in the blood and sprinkle the blood 7 times before the Lord, before the veil of the sanctuary. And the priest shall put some of the blood upon the horns of the altar, a sweet incense before the Lord, which is in the tabernacle of the congregation, and shall pour all the blood of the bullock at the bottom of the altar of the burnt offering, which is at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And he shall take off from it all the fat of the bullock from the sin offering, that the fat covereth the inwards, and all the fat that is upon the inwards, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is upon them, which is by the flanks, and the calf above the liver with the kidneys, it shall he take away, as it was taken off from the bullock of the sacrifice of peace offerings. And the priest shall burn them upon the altar of the burnt offerings. And the skin of the bullock and all his flesh with his head and with his legs and his inwards and his dung, even the whole bullock, shall he carry forth without the camp unto a clean place, and the ashes are poured out, and burn him on the wood with fire. Where the ashes are poured out, shall he be burnt. All right, verse 13. And if the whole congregation of Israel, now it's a new one. All right, now the first from 1 to 13, from 1 to 12 was a a sin as a people, but he's not in a tabernacle. He's just a sin like the rest of the people doing stuff. Now it's talking about the whole congregation, sin through ignorance. All right, verse 13. And if the whole congregation of Israel sin through ignorance, and the thing be hid from the eye of his assembly, and they have done somewhat against any of the commandments of the Lord concerning things which should not be done, and are guilty, when the sin which they have sinned against it is known, then the congregation shall offer a young bullock for the sin, and bring him before the tabernacle of the congregation. And the elders of the congregation shall lay their hands upon the head of the bullock before the Lord, and the bullock shall be killed before the Lord. So now, for the whole congregation of Israel through sin, it's on the elders. So it's that elder sin. It's them that carry the sin of that, because the elder is supposed to be in charge of everybody else. You know. Verse 16. And the priest that is anointed shall bring of the bullock blood to the tabernacle of the congregation. And the priest shall dip his finger in some of the blood, and sprinkle 7 times before the Lord, even before the veil. And he shall put some of the blood upon the horns of the altar, which is before the Lord, that is in the tabernacle of the congregation, and shall pour out all the blood at the bottom of the altar of the burnt offering, which is at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And he shall take all his fat from him, and burn it upon the altar. And he shall do with the bullock as he did with the bullock for a sin offering, so shall he do with this. And the priest shall make an atonement for them, and it shall be forgiven them. And he shall carry forth the bullock without the camp, and burn him as he burnt the first bullock. It is a sin offering for the congregation. Now, that is for the whole congregation that is sinned through, ignorance and all that stuff. I mean, and the whole congregation of Israel that sinned through ignorance, that was that. All right. Now we finna go into verse 22, when a ruler sins. Okay. Verse 22, when a ruler hath sinned and done somewhat through ignorance against any of the commandments of the Lord his God, concerning things which should not be done, and is guilty of his sin wherein he hath sinned, come to his knowledge, he shall bring his offering, a kid of the goats, a male without blemish. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of the goat, and kill it in the place where they killed the burnt offering before the Lord. It is a sin offering. And the priest shall take of the blood of the sin offering with his finger, and put it upon the horns of the altar of burnt offerings, and shall pour out his blood at the bottom of the altar of burnt offerings. And he shall burn all his fat on the altar, as the fat of the sacrifices of peace offerings. And the priest shall make an atonement for him as concerning his sin, and it shall be forgiven him. And if any one of the common people sin through ignorance, now the ruler, now it's talking about the common people. So we have first the whole congregation, right? That's the whole congregation. Everybody is just sinning through ignorance. Now it's on the elders. Then we had the ruler, like the king. It could be the prince, it could be the captain. You know what I'm saying? Now we got any one of the common people. So this is like singular, like each person that's sinning through ignorance. All right, verse 27. If any one of the common people sin through ignorance, while he doeth somewhat against any of the commandments of the Lord concerning things which ought not to be done, and be guilty, or if his sin which he hath sinned come to his knowledge, then he shall bring his offering, a kid of the goats, a female without blemish, for his sin which he hath sinned. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of the sin offering, and slay the sin offering in the place of the burnt offerings. And the priest shall take of the blood thereof with his finger, and put it upon the horns of the altar of burnt offerings, and shall pour out all the blood thereof at the bottom of the altar. And he shall take away all the fat thereof, as the fat is taken away from the sacrifices. I'll start back at 31. And he shall take away all the fat thereof, as the fat is taken away from off the sacrifice of peace offerings. And the priest shall burn it upon the altar for a sweet savor unto the Lord. And the priest shall make an atonement for him, and it shall be forgiven him. So the same one is in chapter 3, when it's talking about the fat that is taken from the sacrifice of peace offering, the same way. That's in chapter 3, verse 3 and 4 to 3 to 4. You'll get the same one that it's talking about. All right. And also in Exodus 29 and 18. Cool. Verse 32. And if he bring a lamb for a sin offering, he shall bring it a female without blemish, and he shall lay his hand upon the head of the sin offering, and slay it for a sin offering, in the place where they kill the burnt offering. And the priest shall take of the blood of the sin offering with his finger, and put it upon the horns of the altar of burnt offerings, and shall pour out all the blood thereof at the bottom of the altar, and shall take away all the fat thereof, as the fat of the lamb is taken away from the sacrifice of peace offering. And the priest shall burn them upon the altar, according to the offerings made by fire unto the Lord. And the priest shall make an atonement for his sin that he hath committed, it shall be forgiven him. Call Asherah, Debar Yahweh, Anaya Shah, Wanashamai. All that Yahweh said, what we doing here. Now, did anybody miss something? Okay. Nobody missed nothing. That's good. Cool. So now 5 is a little tricky. Y'all gonna have to listen to it go down first.
It's still for the sin, right?
Nope. This one is like, I wish I'm gonna read it, and then you probably comprehend it in that. But I'm gonna say if you don't, just let it keep going, and then you're gonna catch on to what it's saying. All right. This is Leviticus chapter 5 and verse 1. And if a soul sin and bear the voice, and if a soul sin and hear the voice of swearing, and is a witness whether he has seen or known of it, if he do not utter it, then he shall bear his iniquity. Or if a soul touch any unclean thing, whether it be a carcass of an unclean beast, or a carcass of an unclean cattle, or the carcass of unclean creeping things, if it be hidden from him, he also shall be unclean and guilty. Anybody want to break that down?
Just talking about, I mean, it's still of sin, but this is concerning the matter of touching anything unclean or unclean animal.
All right, I'm going to go to 1, and I'm not going to go to 2. Check this out. And if a soul sin and hear the voice of swearing, and is a witness whether he has seen or known of it, if he doeth not utter it, then he shall bear his iniquity.
Well, this is if I catch you sinning and I don't say anything, then now it's my sin.
But it's the one where
Hold on. One at a time. Go ahead.
What if it's the person that you tell him that he's sinning, but he doesn't care, and I would say nothing while he sins? Is that?
Hold on. Say it again.
What if it's someone you keep telling him, hey, that's sinning, but he doesn't care, and he keeps doing it, and you see him, and you don't say nothing? Is that still your sin?
Nah, it's on him because you've already told him. You already told him. I'm pretty sure you told him more than once, because I would tell him probably 10, 20 times before I'm like, kick the dust off my feet.
Would that be before bringing it to an elder or a congregation, or that's between you and that?
Well, let's say this. What if he's a worldly cat and you're telling him? Will it make a difference to tell an elder?
At that point, no.
Or if it was a brother in truth, if it was me and you told me, would it make a difference to tell an elder?
If it was a common thing, yeah. If you kept
anything that you caught me in a sin.
Yeah, I mean, either way, I would have to tell you.
Yeah. You would tell me, and I'm not taking heed. You tell my elder now. You know what I'm saying? Got you. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, all right, cool. Now you already went to somebody because I abide by the law. just so happened I'm not abiding by that. It's like, nah, gotta go to your elder. You're not telling me you about to go to the elder.
That's the steps, yeah. First you let them know, then you bring it to witnesses, and then elders.
Exactly. But just
if he doesn't hear the elders, then he's not. You have to cut him off from Israel.
No, then you go to the people. Go to the people. You can go to Matthew for that too. When it's talking about then he cast them out as a heathen. You go to the witnesses. It's like a couple more steps to go before you cast them out as a heathen. It's a couple more steps. But after that, I mean, man, if I don't hear about it then, man, Lord have mercy on my soul. Like, damn, man. No. All right. Cool. So, yeah, he got that right. So, verse 1, and if a soul sin, right? So, let's say I'm walking, right? And a soul sin and hear the voice of swearing. So, I hear this dude is swearing to God. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's swearing to say something you're not supposed to swear on God. You know what I'm saying? You can make a promise to God to do this, you know what I'm saying? But you like, I'm swearing, like, I swear, man. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Nah, don't do that. You know what I'm saying? If a soul sin and hear the voice of swearing and is a witness whether he has seen or known of it. Now it gave him two scenarios. If he's seen him doing it, I see you, bro. You said it with your own mouth. Or you known of it. Somebody else seen it and they told you. Now it's on you now. Now you still got to say something. Because you just been made known. So
let's just say Kevin Samuels.
Right.
Hey, bro, we got to let him know that in that case.
Exactly.
Hey, bro, you going off here. Even though he's not in the truth.
Exactly. You got it. That's why, we're going to be making a video to tell the brother he going off. Before the video, try to make it like, a call or, what I'm saying, hit him up and try to let him know the stuff that he's going off on.
And then this must have been the one we was talking about where we kept looking at the Strongs and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So let me finish it real quick though. So, and it is a witness whether he has seen it or known of it. If he do not utter it. So what does the utter mean? It mean to report. You did not report it. All right. Then he shall bear his iniquity. Now you bear his iniquity.
Have you told elders?
If you haven't told him, you're going to bear his iniquity. And it's like a condemned thing. It's like that feeling like, man, you don't want that. It's like, damn. Like every day you're like, man, I gotta do this.
We're bearing his sin.
Yeah, we gotta tell him. Yeah, for now.
For now, kind of.
That's because we gotta get a lot more. Oh, you done broke it.
No.
I'm messing with you, bro. It was already broken.
That's
All right. Yeah. It's just, what I'm saying, some things you gotta take steps. You know what I'm saying? You gotta take steps with, especially approaching somebody that big that just don't hear that.
In front of you.
Yeah. So it's just you gotta take certain steps and what I'm saying, building up the case and everything else. We like come together, sit down, and we go over some stuff that we need to approach him on that would be to get him to come to the table to talk to him about, and then this and this. All right, that video, bro, off. And then, especially he's a New Testament brother. You know what I'm saying? He's New Testament. So you will have to touch on a lot of things in the New Testament. You will have to go to Second Timothy 3, especially. You know what I'm saying? In these last days, perilous times, it'd be hard for him to do, not listening, you know what I'm saying, to his father. He's being a disobedient child and stuff like that. And cut him with that first, just go in the steps, you know what I'm saying? So, okay, cool. Let's move on. Leviticus chapter 5, verse 2. Or if a soul toucheth any unclean thing, whether it be a carcass, again, or if a soul toucheth any unclean thing, whether it be a carcass of an unclean beast, or a carcass of unclean cattle, or the carcass of unclean creeping things, and if it be hidden from him, he also shall be unclean and guilty. That's talking about if this, like, say a brother touches something unclean and everything else, and if he doesn't know about it, he's still unclean. He's still guilty of that sin for touching something unclean. And if it be hidden from him, he's still going to be unclean. You know what I'm saying? Watch this. Or if he touches the uncleanness of man, whethersoever uncleanness it be, that man shall be defiled withal, and it be hid from him, when he knoweth of it, then he shall be guilty. All right. So when he knoweth of it, he's still going to be guilty. All right. But if that person that is there and knowing that he's done it and he's unclean and they didn't say nothing, you're bearing his iniquity now. You see what I'm saying? It takes it stops everybody from those excuses. That's all it does. It stops you from excuses. That person's going to be bearing that sin. Why you want him to do that? You know what I'm saying? You got to tell him, like, hey, bro, you in transgression. Now, should we cast pearls among swine? I think not. But I say give a person a chance to tell them correctly the first time. Probably second time and the third time. After that, man, I don't think it's 20 times, bro.
No.
I don't think it's. I say 3 years at the most.
That's from a person that's
Not the truth. A person in truth, my personal opinion, you should go far and beyond those 3 times. You know what I'm saying? That person that's not in the truth, I don't think you should go far and beyond like you do somebody that's in the truth and they follow the law. Because you're taking a chance by telling this dude, and you know what I'm saying, he starts scorning. You know what I'm saying? Man, give a damn about that. How you talk to somebody like that? You know what I'm saying? How you talk to somebody like that? You know, I'm just telling you, that's the wrong thing to do. And the Most High don't like it because you said you love God and everything else. God don't like that. You're doing that, and you tell him that you leave it at that. You know.
I mean, you can't say you love the Most High if you ain't doing that. If you ain't following the law.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the thing that trips me out with people, man. If they know the 10 Commandments, but they got other idolatries they go to, it's just like it makes no damn sense. Like, yeah, man, how messed up are you in the head that if you grew up in this, you didn't become a fanatic, because that's what I hear. Oh, I grew up into it, but I never became a fanatic because I never got read about it, anything like that. I believe in God. Okay, you know his 10 Commandments, like they all say. Why would you get yourself into idolatry, start believing in zodiac signs and Ross and all this other crap? It makes no damn sense. You're being kind of a hypocrite, you know.
And they always, what would you call that? An extreme exaggeration. I'm not a fanatic and stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
hey, but what did Paul say though? What did Paul say in Acts?
What do you say?
That they're gonna say that we're part of a sect for how we fall.
They're gonna say what?
They're gonna say that we're part of a sect or a cult.
Oh yeah.
What is that Acts?
Find that. Bring that out.
Yeah, I remember Heather telling me part. So that.
Yeah.
She said, "Will you be part of that cult, and I'll be part of this cult?" I was like, "What the?" Okay.
They be overemphasizing, overusing that word cult, boy. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you follow your boss, right? Say he's the leader at your job and he pays you, right, to stay in that cult. It's like, why would you use that word? It's like basically everybody in the world's in a cult for following somebody that has understanding and everything else. It's like
you don't know the definition of the word.
Yeah.
So, like when they say that, it's like, "Oh, how you gonna listen to this person?" It's like, "Bro, you listen to your boss." Well, he pays you. Oh, just because he pays you,
it's okay.
it's okay. But for me, he says, I'm getting knowledge of self and stuff that they don't teach you. I'm following order. That makes no sense.
You got it?
This is mine right here.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 24, verse 14.
Uh-huh.
But this I confess unto thee, that after the way which they call heresy, and if we look up that word heresy, it goes into a cult or sect.
Okay.
So worship I the God of my father, believing all things which are written in the law and in the prophets.
Mm.
So because we follow it, they're gonna call us, or they're gonna say we're in heresy or in a sect or in a cult. If you look up that, matter of fact, I'm gonna look it up on a stronger clear.
Come on, get that. Father Kashak. Yep, that's what they do. Because we followers, y'all in a cult, man. Y'all just doing this and that.
And it says it too, because we follow the law and the prophets. Like, oh, you guys are doing all that because of the old, you know what I mean? So if you go into that word,
But I also hate when they're like, "Why am I gonna follow a book to tell me what to do and how to live?" Like, man, you do this right here in this world. You pay your taxes, you pay your rent, you wake up for your 9 to 5 job.
This is how you do this today.
Like, you know, if the stop sign tells you to stop, you stop. You're conforming. So how the hell are you telling me that what I'm doing is not the same thing as you're doing, but yours is a little bit different because you have freedom. You could smoke or you do, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You have freedom to kill yourself.
Yeah, pretty much.
Your God said you can kill yourself if you want to and let nobody change your mind.
That makes no sense.
What you got?
That word heresy comes from G139. Heresis. That's the word. The definition is from G138. Properly, a choice that is specific or specifically a party or abstraction. Disunion. Heresy is the Greek word itself. Heresy, which is in the Greek word itself, sect.
Okay.
What's another word for sect? A cult.
Cult. Yeah, they just making shit up, huh?
They're gonna call us a sect. They're gonna call us a cult because of the way that we follow them.
Yeah.
I've been hearing that lately from people.
I heard that from the get-go.
Tony,
My mom
Larry.
told me that get-go. Now you're in the sect. You're in the sect. And my Zom told me, he's like, oh, you know what? It tells us that's what's gonna happen. And Acts 24:14, I won't forget it.
Acts 24:14. Remember that. Hey, they say y'all. We know y'all gonna say that. So this is the way we follow, man. We follow like the ways of old, baby. We worship the Most High the way He's supposed to.
But look how he says it though.
Maybe he said my true worshipers are gonna follow me.
Acts 24:14, how it starts. This I confess unto thee, that after the way which they call heresy, a sect or cult, so worship I, the God of my father, believing all things which are written in the law and in the prophets. So not just because what's in the New Testament, all things. You know what I mean? Because we follow all things, not just new, not just old, all things.
I don't get it how the pastor missed that. I mean, I missed it. They missed it too, man. That's crazy.
Because who goes? I mean, anybody could go to a church, but they're gonna really call you a sect for believing all things, not just New Testament.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's gonna be a powerful precept for what we're gonna tackle in that video. So we already know you're gonna say that.
Nah, you guys are extremists. That's what they say. Oh, you guys are following all off. But you can't. Then when they go to, oh, you can't follow, or you can't do all things. It's like they do got a point, but at the same time, then they got Ephesians. What is it? Philippians 4:13. We do all things through Christ. That's the famous Christian thing. We can do all things through Christ. But when it comes to doing the law, oh no, we can't do that. We don't have to do that. It's like, what you mean?
It's crazy. They call us a hate group. Like, who do we hate?
Have you guys read Obadiah? Like, come on now. Romans 9.
And like when you think about it, says like God is the one that said that He hates Esau.
David said, I hate who my father hates.
Exactly.
I like David. You know what I'm saying? That's the Father in heaven, the Father on earth too.
Let's get back.
All right, cool. We're going to start here. Verse 4. All right. Or this is Leviticus chapter 5 and verse 4. Or if a soul swear, pronouncing with his lips to do evil or to do good, whatsoever it be, that man shall pronounce with an oath, and it be hid from him. When he knoweth of it, then he shall be guilty of one of these. And it shall be, when he shall be guilty in one of these things, that he shall confess that he hath sinned in that thing. And he shall bring his trespass offering unto the Lord for his sin which he hath sinned. A female from the flock, a lamb, or a kid of the goats for a sin offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for him concerning his sin, a reconciliation, all right, to be in good standings with the Most High. That's what an atonement is. And if he be not able to bring a lamb, then he shall bring for his trespass which he hath committed 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons unto the Lord, one for a sin offering and the other for a burnt offering. All right, and he shall bring them unto the priest, who shall offer that which is for the sin offering first, and wring off his head from his neck, but shall not divide it asunder. And he shall sprinkle of the blood of the sin offering upon the side of the altar. And the rest of the blood shall be wrung out at the bottom of the altar. It is a sin offering. And he shall offer the second a burnt offering according to the manner, and the priest shall make an atonement for him for his sin, which he had sinned, and it shall be forgiven him. But if he be not able to bring 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons, this is what I was talking about in chapter 2, all right, then he that sinned shall bring for his offering the 10th part of an ephah of fine flour for a sin offering. He shall put no oil upon it, neither shall he put any frankincense thereon, for it is a sin offering. Then shall he bring it to the priest, and the priest shall take his handful of it, even the memorial thereof, and burn it on the altar, according to the offering made by fire unto the Lord. It is a sin offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for him as touching his sin, that he hath sinned in one of these, and it shall be forgiven him. And the remnant shall be the priest as a meat offering. Verse 14, and the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, if a soul committed trespass and sin through ignorance in the holy things of the Lord, then he shall bring for his trespass unto the Lord a ram without blemish, out of the flocks with thy estimation by shekel of silver, after the shekel of the sanctuary. That's why I was like, remember the bullock for the sin offering? That's what a sin as like the people. Now this one right here is committed trespass through sin, through ignorance in the holy things of the Lord, which would be the altar of incense, which would be inside the tabernacle, which would be outside the doing the burnt offerings and stuff like that. So this has to be with the holy things that they committed trespass.
Okay. So I was about to ask, what's the difference between the sin and the transgression?
I'll say it again.
What's the difference between the sin offering and the transgression if it's both the sin?
It's the
transgression is
what's the difference between the sin offering and a what?
And the trespass or the transgression.
It's just this one is using a ram and not a bullock. But it's a couple things we watch. You're going to see it. You're going to see the difference in between, because you can just go to the
previously stored.
This is chapter 4 at the beginning, and then you can also see now at chapter 5, and you can flip back and forth just to see the difference between the two. So far we got.
My thing was, what's the difference between sin and trespassing?
Trespass off is still a sin.
Right.
This is a trespass. The trespass is a sin. You trespass against the Lord, against the commandments, man. You know what? I'm gonna have to ask on that.
Because anybody can consider anything a sin, but once you say trespass, what's a trespass? What's the difference between regular sin and a trespass?
We'll see. The Spirit will probably come through all right. That good old tea.
That's Cameron.
Still tea.
Wow.
All right, verse 15. If a soul commit a trespass and sin through ignorance in the holy things of the Lord, then he shall bring for his trespass unto the Lord a ram without blemish, out of the flocks with the estimation by shekel of silver, after the shekel of the sanctuary, for a trespass offering. Verse 16. And he shall make amends for the harm that he have done in the holy things, and he shall add the 5th part thereto, and give it unto the priest, and the priest shall make an atonement for him, the ram of the trespass offering, and it shall be forgiven him. And if a soul sin and commit any of these things which are forbidden to be done by the commandments of the Lord, though wist it not, yet he be guilty, and shall bear his iniquity. Wist not just mean made known. Okay, so though he had been made known, yet he is guilty still. So if he knew about it, he's guilty. But if he didn't know about it, he's still guilty. Verse 18. And he shall bring a ram without blemish out of the flock, with thy estimation, for a trespass offering unto the priest. And the priest shall make an atonement for him concerning his ignorance wherein he erred, and wist it not, and it shall be forgiven him. And it's like it is a trespass offering. He hath certainly trespassed against the Lord. All right. Ka Shara, Debar Yahweh, Anaya Shai, Wana Shemai. Or the Yahweh said, what we doing here? Let me see that real quick.
Yo, it's
What's the
not.
difference?
It's
Go ahead.
not until you read the first few chapters of Leviticus till you understand how or why Job was perfect. Because even him not knowing what sin, he was always doing offerings.
Mm-hmm.
You guys read Job before?
Yeah.
He was always doing offerings for him, for his children, even if he didn't know if he was sinning or not. Because even then, I mean, it's telling us whether you knew or not, you're still sinning. So he was doing offerings all the time.
Right.
Well, he had a lot of stuff. A lot.
Yeah, he had a lot. Even at the end, he got shows. But like, it's not right until right now. It starts like turning. Until you start reading the laws, then you understand why he was doing all these offerings. It wasn't just to be righteous. It's just in case if he didn't, then he committed sin. You know what I mean?
I mean, like,
do y'all think Job was an actual person, or was it a metaphorical of Israel?
That's a good one.
But he had like four of his friends from different nations.
What kind of deep breakdown was that?
I'm just saying.
I always wondered what tribe is Job from. It never mentioned it.
Well, Job had kids.
Right?
Yeah, he had kids and he freaking offered sacrifices because his kids were celebrating their birthdays.
Mm-hmm. So did Israel.
Right.
As a whole.
You could take it as a double. Because
I feel like Job was a person.
I've heard Job was Issachar because Issachar had a lineage and he had a son actually named Job.
Also, at the same time, didn't he get like blisters and stuff like that? Didn't like the second time when Satan came to the Most High,
he got leprosy.
Yeah, leprosy.
Oh man,
shaved his head and stuff, and then his wife even told him like, "Man, just curse him out and he died." He's like, "Man,"
because Job was getting hit hard because Job was self-righteous. Job felt that just because he was doing these things that he deserved everything.
Well, he was going back and forth.
Yeah.
When I did mess up, and then no, I can't because I did this, and his friends would be like, "No, you did mess up somewhere," but at the same time, like I said, they did say he was making offerings, whether he knew he was sinning or not.
Yeah.
So you hear me?
It was just like a safety net, like nah.
It was like it's chapters where he goes back and forth.
Yeah,
and you're just like, what the hell? And it's not towards the end till the Most High doesn't give him an answer, but he questions them. Well, what do you know about this? What do you know about this? And then he takes them out of this world. What do you know about these stars? Who feeds these animals? Who does this? Who makes sure everything rolls right? And he's just like, he started putting everything to his head. He must have, a million things must have gone through his head. Like, what the hell? Like, why am I'm not even worthy. I mean,
but it's still not saying what tribe Job is from.
It doesn't say
at all.
It doesn't say.
So it's like metaphorically. Okay, is Job all of Israel?
Well, who's Job's father? Us, right?
You can't. It doesn't tell you.
Yeah, doesn't tell you.
Like I said, in the lineage of Issachar, you can
go
find
to Job.
Job.
Go to Job real quick.
I thought Job had a father from the land of Uz.
No, he was from the land of Uz, right?
Mm-hmm. And where's the land of Uz? Close to Esau.
I know Job ain't no
funny because we were talking
That's all I know.
No one could be perfect. What you mean? Job was perfect. Noah was perfect. And you just kind of stood quiet like, damn.
You can go to the New Testament and who else was perfect? The Levite that did the altar of incense. Him and his wife was perfect. They walked in the laws perfect.
The priest.
Ezekiel. No, Jeremy. No, his name was the same name. Yeah, Zechariah.
There you go, Zechariah. Yeah.
Now let's see what Google has to say.
No, we don't want to hear what Google. We just read the precept so we can move on.
It was just Job from the land of Uz. It doesn't say his father, but if you do go to Genesis, though,
I think that's a different
Genesis. Job. I know it's a son right away, right after Issachar. Right. Genesis 46 and 13, and the sons of Issachar, Tola and Phuvah and Job and Shimron. So it mentions a Job, right? But it still doesn't clarify because there could be names, same names like down generations.
And I said I think. I didn't say that. That's not that Job. I said I think that's not that. I don't think.
Right. It doesn't specify. So, like I said, the names have been used over and over, so you can't just say, "Oh, that is the same Job." There's no.
As a matter of fact, it's going to be talking about that in Isaiah, how people use the names and everything else. Everybody just using all the names of Israel, surnames and this surname. Ecclesiasticus, Sirach, Jesus, using the name. The name was very popular. You good? Or you finna keep trying? You can do that after class. You can do that. So,
Because Google over here saying that Job's from Esau.
I wouldn't trust Esau. Yeah. Let's go. Switch officer.
I'm really looking to that.
Study. There you go. Study makes perfect.
Perfect study makes perfect. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 43, verse 21. Careful with that.
I see.
Yeah. Put a lot of work.
I think it's different. Isaiah 43 and 21.
Yeah. Okay. Y'all there? I'll wait for the car.
43.
Yeah.
Right.
21. Look, I'm gonna really find out what tribe Job from, man.
You're gonna find it.
Huh?
You're gonna find it.
All right. And when I do, man, you know how famous I'm gonna get.
Say what?
I say when I find out what tribe Job from, you know how famous I'm gonna get.
Even Google doesn't know it.
Okay. So,
Hey, son, don't worry about fame, okay? Don't worry
this is Isaiah chapter 43, verse 21. This people have I formed for myself; they shall shew forth my praise. Right? But thou hast not called upon me, O Jacob, but thou hast been weary of me. Right? O Israel, thou hast not brought me the small cattle of thy burnt offerings, neither hast thou honored me with thy sacrifices. I have not caused thee to serve with an offering, nor wearied thee with incense. Right? And weary means to exhaust. You're saying you're exhausted, hard labor. Okay? Then thou hast brought me no sweet cane with money, neither hast thou filled me with the fat of thy sacrifices. But thou hast made me to serve with thy sins. Thou hast wearied me with thine iniquities. We have exhausted the Most High with our iniquities, right? Because we just keep sinning, right? Verse 25. Even I am he that blotteth out thy transgressions for mine own sake, and will not remember thy sins. Put me in remembrance, let us plead together. Declare thou, that thou mayest be justified. Thy first father hath sinned, and thy teachers have transgressed against me. Therefore I have profaned the princes of the sanctuary, and have given Jacob to the curse, and Israel to the reproaches. Going back to Deuteronomy 28, 15 to 68, about the curses that the Most High put us through. Okay, now we're going to go to
Chronicles and Hosea as well.
Okay. Okay. All right, so let's go to Isaiah chapter 44, verse 1. We're going to read the 23. Yet now hear, O Jacob, my servant, and Israel, whom I have chosen. Right? Thus saith the Lord, that made thee and formed thee from the womb, which will help thee. Fear not, O Jacob, my servant, and thou, Jeshurun, whom I have chosen. For I will pour out water upon him that is thirsty, and floods upon the dry ground. and I will pour my spirit upon thy seed and my blessing upon thine offspring, right? So we all know what that water is. That the water is the, saying the law, statutes, commandments, and the doctrine of the Most High, right? And we are that dry ground. Okay, verse 4. And they shall spring up as among the grass and willows by the water courses. One shall say, I am the Lord's. And another shall call himself by the name of Jacob. And another shall subscribe with his hand unto the Lord. Right? And surname himself by the name of Israel. Right? And it caught my eye right here. Right? It was on verse 5. One shall say, I am the Lord's. And another shall call himself by the name of Jacob. Right? And this one right here. And another shall subscribe with his hand unto the Lord. Right? Someone give me the subscribe in the blue letter. Let me see. Who does it remind y'all of? Right here.
Where's that?
Verse 5. Subscribe his hand unto the Lord.
What verse was that?
Verse 5.
44 and verse 5.
You want the word subscribe?
Yeah.
All right. So H3789, kafal, definition: a primitive root to grave, by implication to write, describe, inscribe, prescribe, subscribe, describe record, prescribe. Just contains the same.
Start at the top again.
A primitive root to grave, by implication to write.
So a primitive root to grave, right?
To record,
Right.
write up.
So people say that they're from the root. They subscribe, right, to the hand of the Lord. So they're the root to the grave. Who this reminds you of? Who says they're the right hand of Yahushua?
The Jewish.
Them too, right? But who in Israel does that?
Who in Israel?
Says he's the right hand to Yahushua.
Oh, you're talking about General Yohana?
Yeah.
Oh, you go into
See that right there? Say he putting himself out there, subscribing himself to the hand of Yahushua. You know what I mean?
That is a bold move.
Yeah.
That's why his first Passover didn't come through.
What?
Passover in LA, everybody's coming, and nothing happened.
Like no one
Now
showed
they're doing
up,
it,
or
nobody showed up. It all got canceled. So I think the people who paid for it, like, they got SOL. And now they're doing one in Texas, I think. But who knows? It sounds like it's going through. But he's giving the call out to everybody whoever wants to go. But he's charging like $200 per person.
For
That doesn't include the flight or the ride over there.
that's crazy.
I mean, it sounds good because they're actually going to be doing, like, they're going to be killing the lamb and everything. They're going to be doing the feast, supposedly the correct way from what it sounds like. But yeah, everybody's showing up to Texas, blah, blah, blah.
I mean, if it's gonna be like a bougie ass Passover, and it's gonna make you feel good, like, oh hell yeah, like I paid for this, oh yeah,
I don't know, for $200.
I'm trying to sit there with my garment girdle and eating in haste.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't trying to sit down there with a little dining, little napkins and
Nah, they got this outside spot, so
Oh yeah.
yeah, it looks alright.
So it didn't happen in LA, huh?
It didn't happen.
So they missed their Passover?
Well, they just did that one didn't roll through.
Oh.
Said everybody's coming. If you Israel, you coming to LA, blah blah blah. I saw the video. I was just like,
Yeah, good to say, come and
I
serve
told Isaiah,
your
so we
head,
going?
General Yohanos. All right,
Let's
let's
up for the day.
Yeah, this is in verse 6, man. Thus saith the Lord, the King of Israel, right? The King of Israel, we know that's Yahushua. And his Redeemer, the Lord of hosts. All right, that's Yahweh, right? I am first and I am the last, and besides me, there is no God, right? And just get to verse 24 real quick to precept that. Thus saith the Lord, thy Redeemer, and he that formed thee from the womb. I am the Lord that maketh all things, that stretcheth forth the heavens alone, and spreadeth aloud the earth by myself. All right. So that's just proving more. That's Yahweh. Okay. Now we'll go to verse 7. And who, as I, shall call and shall declare it, and set it in order for me, since I appointed the ancient people, and the things that are coming and shall come, let them shew unto them. Right? I'm going to start that over. And who, as I shall call. Right? Who's the Most High calling? Israel. And shall declare it and set it in order for me. So he is calling Israel to declare something and to set it in order for him. Right? Since I appointed the ancient people. All right, that's Israel. The ancient people and the things that are coming. Right? Because who are we? We're the watchmen of the Most High. Right? And shall come. Let them shew unto them. Right? We are shewing something unto the rest of the nation of Israel. Right? Fear ye not, neither be afraid. Have not I told thee from that time, and have declared it? Ye are even my witnesses. Is there a God besides me? Yea, there is no God, I know not any. All right, so we know that there is not another God than the Most High, right? We know that, and that's what we're declaring, and that's what we're showing it to the people. Because right now, the people is serving Caesar Borgia, right? And they're serving Allah, and they're serving Mary. These are the things that they're serving in that freaking stone. Yeah. Okay. Verse 9. They that make a graven image are all of them vanity. Okay. And their delectable things shall not profit. If you look up the word delectable, means beautiful. Someone look that up right now on Google.
What verse?
No, not Google, but yeah, Google.
Where's it at? What verse?
That's verse 9. You can someone look it up on Google, someone look it up on Blue Letter.
A permanent root to delight in beauty,
Right.
great beloved, covet, declare things great, delightful,
Right.
goodly, lust,
Exactly. Because Israel be making some nice chains, saying of the cross and everything like that, but that's all vain. That's all vanity. Okay.
Desired things.
Right.
Oh, it said it too. Lustful things.
Exactly.
No.
Exactly. Got people making tattoos of, saying Christ on them and getting chains and crosses and everything.
Yeah,
That's all.
the ones that put Borgia.
Man.
I feel bad for those.
What's that? There was just one
Also,
brother.
the delectable things like there are these chains they be wearing with Jesus and everything else ain't gonna profit.
Lustful.
The worst thing is when you get that tatted on, Christ tatted on you, and then you come into the truth.
Oh, you got more
Remember
hair
that
on
one
your
brother?
face. Oh no. Hey, well, at least that Jesus Christ guy only got Jesus. Jesus Christ.
God.
Jesus on their face.
He wrote Jesus on his face.
Yeah, Jesus. The dude that went famous for saying praising the Lord and much noise.
No.
What?
Oh,
I'm gonna show you after.
Let's start back over at verse 9. They that make a graven image are all of them vanity, and their delectable things shall not profit, right? And they are their own witnesses. They see not, nor know that they may be ashamed, right? And those people, man, they're Most High is just leaving them alone, man. They're their own witnesses. Okay, they're gonna be ashamed themselves when they find out that Lord, that God that they're making is a false God, right? Verse 10. Who hath formed a god or molten a graven image that is profitable for nothing? I'm gonna start over. Who hath formed a god or molten a image that is profitable for nothing? Behold, all his fellows shall be ashamed, and the workmen, they are men. Let them all be gathered together. Let them stand up. Yet they shall fear, and they shall be ashamed together. Because what does it say in verse? What does it say in verse 7? And who, as I shall call and shall declare it and set it in order for me. Because it's saying when we collect these people, when we separate the wheat from the tares and everything, these are the people that's going to be ashamed. Mm-hmm. These are the 2/3. These are the people that's going to sit there and be like, dang, man, It's the people that serving these other gods.
Those Hebrew Israelites told us.
Yeah, right, man. Man, those crazy people on the streets was really actually telling some truth.
Mm-hmm.
God. Verse 12. The smith and the tongs both worketh in the coals, and fashioneth it with hammers, and worketh it with the strength of his arms. Yea, he is hungry, and his strength faileth. He drinketh no water, and is faint. Right? The carpenter stretcheth out his rule, he maketh it out of the line. He fitteth it with planes, and marketh it out of the compass, and maketh it after the figure of a man, according to the beauty of a man, that it may remain in the house. Right? So now the Most High is like, man, this dude really goes inside the shop, uses all of his strength, he drinks no water, eats no food, he's all tired and everything. It said, and then all he's doing is just making a figure of a man according to his beauty, you know what I'm saying, dialing it all up, right? And just to and that it may remain in his house. He's doing all this work just to hang it up in his house, right? All this work is vain, right? He heweth him down cedars, and taketh the cypress and the oak, which he strengtheneth for himself among the trees of the forest, right? You know what I'm saying? This is also could go into Christmas, right? You know what I'm saying? People cut down the trees and you know what I'm saying, deck it up, right? But we're still in the idols. He heweth him down cedars, and taketh the cypress and the oak, which he strengthened for himself among the trees of the forest. He planteth an ash, and rain doeth nourish it, right? Then shall it be for a man to burn. Okay? Then, you know what I'm saying, when the tree dies and you have to, and it breaks down, now you have to burn it. People, the point is right now, people are making all these idols for no reason. Doing all this work for no reason. You do all that work, molding the image, you put it in the house, it just stays there, collects dust. You make a man out of a tree and everything. When the tree dies, you have to burn it. This is the thing. All these idols die. Huh? Come. I'm gonna start back at verse 15. Then shall it be for a man to burn, for he will take thereof and warm himself. Yea, he kindleth it and baketh bread. Yea, he maketh a god and worshipeth it, and maketh a graven image, and falleth down thereto. This is exactly what the Most High is saying. He does all this stuff, it falls down, and it's not profitable. None of these things are going to profit. Right? Verse 16. He burneth part thereof in the fire, with part thereof he eateth flesh. He roasteth roast, and is satisfied. Yea, he warmeth himself, and saith, Aha, I am warm. I have seen the fire. And the residue thereof he maketh a god, even his graven image. He falleth down into it, and worshipeth it, and prayeth unto it, and saith, Deliver me, for thou art my God. Who caught on to that right there? So this man that he's talking about got some food, roasted it, used fire, everything. Everything that this man just used, the Most High made. But then he collects the ash from the fire and makes a graven image and bows down to it and says, You are my God. How could that be your God, but you just made that God?
Mm-hmm. Should be making himself a God.
A delusion of people, man.
It's like the Most High is going to choose your own delusion, man. All right, verse 18. They have not known nor understood, for he hath shut their eyes, and that they cannot see, and their hearts that they cannot understand. This is what the Most High has done to these people, right? And none considereth it in his heart, neither is there knowledge nor understanding to say, I have burnt part of it in a fire. Yea, also I have baked bread upon the coals thereof. I have roasted flesh and eaten it. And shall I make the residue thereof abomination? Shall I fall down to the stock of a tree? He feedeth of ashes, and the deceived heart hath turned him aside, that he cannot deliver his soul nor say, Is there not a lie in my right hand? Right? You got that idol in your hand. You can't even say that, you know what I'm saying, there's a lie in his hand because he's blind. Right? And he's not understanding. Verse 21. Remember thee, O Jacob and Israel, for thou art my servant. I have formed thee, thou art my servant, O Israel. Thou shalt not be forgotten of me. Verse 22. I have blotted out as a thick cloud thy transgressions, and as a cloud thy sins return unto me, for I have redeemed thee. Sing, O ye heavens, for the Lord hath done it. Shout, ye lower parts of the earth. Break forth into the singing, ye mountains, O forest, and every tree therein. For the Lord hath redeemed Jacob and glorified himself in Israel. So, yeah, man. All these people that make these graven images and buy these graven images do it for nothing, man. They're just bowing down into nothing. They serve nothing. So that's end of that's end of the prophets.
You're not gonna finish that chapter?
No, yeah.
And it's just the end of the prophecy to go from 21 to a certain part.
Yeah.
And the car is a car. It's a car in the car. I mean, it's just right that Issachar do the New Testament anyways. You know what I'm saying?
Opposite.
All right. We got coming to the stage, Northern Kingdom. Where's
we at, sir?
my sword go?
Isn't it this one?
Oh, there we go. My bad.
Don't do that one right there.
That's this one right here.
So we go to Matthew chapter 5, and we're gonna start it up in verse 21.
5 and 21.
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
All right. This is the book of Matthew chapter 5, verse 21. Ye have heard that it was said by them of old times, Thou shalt not kill, and whosoever shall kill shall be in danger of the judgment. But I say unto you, that whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in danger of the judgment. And whosoever shall say to his brother, Rakah, shall be in danger of the council. But whosoever shall say, Thou fool, shall be in danger of hell fire. Therefore, if thou bring thy gift to the altar, and there rememberest that thy brother hath out against thee, leave there thy gift before the altar, and go thy way. First be reconciled to thy brother, and then come and offer thy gift.
Shalom, shalom. Okay, so Matthew chapter 5, verse 25. Agree with thy adversary quickly, while thou art in thy way with him, lest at any time that adversary deliver thee to the judge, and the judge deliver thee to the officer, and thou be cast into prison. So right here, adversary, my bad. So adversary, what does it mean? An adversary is an opponent, a lawsuit, especially a Satan, an arch enemy. Pretty much, right here you can talk about when you have a police officer, you're out there with your brothers and you're speaking the truth. You have a police officer coming to you, just agree with them. Be polite. Just if he says something, just be nice with him, respond to him nice, so he doesn't take you in and then put you in front of a judge and they cast you into prison.
That's right.
That's right. It don't have to mean you got to be a little PUSSY to you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hey, man, just agree. All right, cool. Can you turn down the mic, please? All right, man, we got you.
As long as you follow, as long as you make you break law, what does that scripture say? When you do the things that the Most High like, then He gives you the desires of your heart.
Mhm.
So you're gonna be at peace no matter what. You ain't gonna have to lie, like Abraham did with the Egyptians, because Most High He should.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Even He will make you at peace with thine adversary. When you do the things that He'll like, He'll make your adversaries at peace with you.
Yeah.
That's the one.
So that's in other words, like conforming to them or what?
No. We're supposed to listen to the powers that be right now. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
Follow their dumbass laws, but long as it don't break our laws.
All right, see now. Okay. Verse 26. Verily I say unto thee, thou shalt by no means come out thence, till thou hast paid the uttermost farthing. Farthing. What, for real? Oh, farthing. Okay. So right here is pretty much saying that if you go sent to jail, you're gonna be paying a bail. You're gonna have to pay that bail out. So that's why use your words wisely. Be polite to them. But be a man about it. All right, verse 27.
That's why it's best to just, agree with them.
Just agree
Get
with
them
them.
out your face.
Agree to disagree?
Yeah, agree. Yeah.
Verse 27. Ye have heard that it was said by them of old times, thou shalt not commit adultery. So what does adultery means? Adultery means to commit adultery with another with intercourse with another person's wife, with another man's wife.
Mm-hmm.
It could also be adultery could also be doing idolatry, getting into another people's religion or beliefs instead of what the Bible says.
Yo, I got a question. For you. Oh, good.
Verse 28. But I say unto you that whosoever look on a wife to lust after her had committed adultery with her already in his heart. So what does lust mean? Lust means a desired. You're desiring this woman. Like when it talks about that you have already committed adultery in your heart, it's pretty much that in your mind you're like thinking about her, and instead of lusting after her mind, you're just lusting after her, what you're seeing. And in today's society, we could see that women fall in love with what men say, and men fall in love because of what we see. We're visual people, so usually when guys see a girl, in our mind we're like, oh man, I want that, and we go after them, which it will be bad same time in this world. Verse 29. And if thy right eye offend thee, pluck it out and cast it from thee, for it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not that thy whole body should be cast into hell. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 26. Verily I say unto thee, thou shalt by no means come out thence till thou hast paid the uttermost farthing. Ye have heard that it was said by them of old time, thou shalt not commit adultery. But I say unto you, that whosoever looked on a woman to lust after her had committed adultery with her already in his heart. And if thy right eye offend thee, pluck it out, and cast it from thee. For it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not that thy whole body should be cast into hell. So pretty much, if you see a girl in the streets and you lust after her because of your heart and your mind, and not knowing who she is, you don't know what kind of history she has or what kind of person she could be. She could mess you up in
She
different
could have
ways.
a husband.
She could have a husband, and you lust after her, and you pretty much lust after her. Both of you guys have committed fornication and adultery.
Well, just you.
Yeah.
Well,
All it depends on how she's dressing, though.
that too.
Now she could just cause him to go off.
Go off.
She didn't do nothing specific. She just like a damn whore. That's basically it.
Verse 30. And if thy right hand offend thee, cut it off and cast it from thee. For it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not that thy whole body should be cast into hell. It had been said, whosoever shall put away his wife, let him give her a written of divorcement. But I say unto you, that whosoever shall put away his wife, saving for the cause of fornication, cause her to commit adultery. And whosoever shall marry her that is divorced committed adultery. Again, ye have heard that it had been said by them of old time, thou shalt not forswear thyself, but shalt perform unto the Lord thy others oaths. Oaths. Was that it for this? But I say unto you, swear not at all, neither by heaven, for it is God's throne, nor by the earth, for it is his footstool, neither by Jerusalem, for it is the city of the great king. Neither shalt thou swear by thy head, because thou canst not make one hair white or black. That's the end.
The water.
Yeah, kind of just landing back off of that precept right there with the, you can't swear in the heavens, like on God and them. You know what I'm saying? You can't even swear on your own, so you can't say, man, I swear on my life or something like that, because you can't make one.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, you make.
Or if you're wrong.
Yeah, I swear to God, I'm not wrong. You know what I'm saying? Nah, don't do that, bro.
Don't do that.
Even if you say, I put that on,
Nope. It's the same as saying
I put that on.
It's the same thing as saying I swear. It's the same thing. That's just like when we was going in Leviticus chapter 5, verse 1. The same thing. So if you hear somebody saying like, bro, don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
And then the oaths, you know what an oath is, right? You know,
Then we
make
do an
an
oath.
oath or a vow. When somebody make a Nazarite vow, like Zion, and you see him drinking, or he's gonna go to a funeral, or once you look at what it is, then you gotta let them know they're off or whatever.
How long is that? Oh,
I think that depends. You can make it for life, or you can make it for.
no, Isons.
Ison's is 3. He's about to end next month.
Oh, yeah.
And if you want to know more about an oath, just go to Numbers 30. Numbers 30, go in on the oaths and how to make an oath, what oath not to make. If your brother or your female make an oath, and how they supposed to do it, and your time limit to break an oath and things like that. And with that, we're going to end off with these prayers. Kwame Yasharala. Let's go. Let's make some more room real quick.
Huh?
that needs to, we're gonna be obedient. What's the prayer book? Right there. Go on, pass that book.
Just try your knee pads, man. See how they feel.
I know, huh? They better. I'm sending them back. I can't take no hits to the knees like that. All right. This is the Ayanawa. It is our duty to praise the master of all, to ascribe greatness to the author of creation, who has not made us like the nations of the lands, nor placed us like the families of the earth, who has not made our portion like theirs, nor our destiny like all their multitudes. For they worship vanity and emptiness, and pray to a God who cannot save. But we bow and worship, and thank the Supreme King of Kings, the Holy One. Blessed be he who extends the heavens and establishes the earth, whose throne of glory is in the heavens above, and whose power of presence is in the highest of heights. He is our God. There is no other. Truly, he is our King. There is none else. As it is written in the Torah, you shall know and take to heart this day that Yahweh is Elohim, in the heavens above and on the earth below. There is no other. Hallelujah.
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 Bahashem.
Hashem.
Yahushua.
Yahushua.
Hamashiach.
Hamashiach.
Amen. Shema Yahshua Yahweh Elohim Yahweh Echad. Shema Yahshua Yahweh Elohim Yahweh Echad. Shema Yahshua Yahweh Elohim Yahweh Echad. Shema Yahshua Yahweh Elohim Yahweh Echad.
Your Israel, or God the Lord.
Come.
The Ten Commandments: love and love thy neighbor. Love Yahweh. Anya,
Anya.
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Allahayika,
Allahayika,
Asherah,
Asherah,
Hawatazah,
Hawatazah,
Atika,
Atika,
Haratazah,
Horatazah,
Haratazayim,
Horatazayim,
Abathiyim,
Abathiyim,
La'ah,
La'ah,
Yahaya,
Yahaya,
Lakah,
Lakah,
Allahayim,
Allahayim,
Karim,
Karim,
Apanya,
Apanya,
La'ah,
La'ah,
La'aisha,
La'asha,
Lakah,
Lakah,
Hoso,
Hoso,
Wala'ah,
Wala'ah,
La'ibadam,
La'ibadam,
La'ah,
La'ah,
Korka,
Korka,
Hashem,
Hashem,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Bashawah,
Bashawah,
Zakar,
Zakar,
Hayawam,
Hayawam,
Hashabah,
Hashabah,
Akadash,
Lakadash,
Kabad,
Kabad,
Abaku,
Abaku,
Wa,
Wa,
Amk,
Amk,
La'ah,
La'ah,
Ratazah,
Doratazah,
La'ah,
La'ah,
Lana'ah,
Lana'ah,
La'ah,
La'ah,
Daganab,
Dagamad,
La'ah,
La'ah,
Daganab,
Dagamad,
Shakur,
Shakur,
La'ah,
La'ah,
Dakamad,
Dakamad,
Call, Asherah,
Asherah,
La'Ra'aika. First greatest commandments. Hear, O Israel, Yahweh, our God, Yahweh is one. Thou shalt love thy God, that love Yahweh, thy God, with all thy heart, with all thy soul, with all thy might. Second greatest commandments. Ra'aika la'at kwama la'at the tar of banya anka wa abata la ra'aika kama makani Yahweh. Thou shalt not avenge nor bring any grudge against the children of thy people. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I'm Yahweh. Okay, Zakawan Hasha'ah, memorial of the woman. Now when Yahweh was in the Bethany, in the house of Simon the leper, there came unto him a woman having an everlasting box of a very precious ointment, and poured it on his head, and he sat at meat. But when his disciples saw it, they indignation, saying, to what purpose is this waste? For this ointment might have been sold for 300 pence, 1 year's wages, and given to the poor. When Yahweh understood, he said unto them, why trouble ye the woman? For she hath brought a good work upon me. For ye have the poor with you, but me have not always. For in that she hath poured this ointment on my body, she did it for my burial. Verily I say unto you, whosoever this gospel shall be preached in the whole world, there shall also this that this woman hath done be told for memorial of her. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah,
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah,
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah,
Bahashem.
Bahashem,
Yahushua.
Yahushua,
Mashiach.
Mashiach,
Amen.
God.
And before we end out,
Passover's coming up, and when Passover come up, unleavened bread come up. So I want to give you guys something. Biblical leavening and yeast, RAV, are actual cooked raw or processed yeast or products containing such. CMX, bread, donuts, seasoning, soups, chips, cereal, pizza dough, cheese may contain yeast under different names. Regular flour, baking soda powder, vinegar, eggs, ketchup, cakes, pies, etc. do not contain yeast or leavening. So,
Man, we better finish all that.
so with that, all right, shalom.
That bread, I just got and chips.
Yeah, no bread,
Oh, wow, man.
no chips.
I don't think I'm gonna be finishing that bread.